Hi traders, I want to show you an example of a bearish butterfly pattern that's set up on a 5-minute chart. This is the pound US dollar, it's a daily chart that we're currently looking at. And you can see overall we've been in a range. Price has dropped and then it started to rally quite nicely. So once again we take our Fibonacci tool and we draw it from the very high down to the very low. And we want to have a look at potential areas of resistance. Okay, so we take our horizontal tool and we draw it from the top, just move it down. You can see this area on the 79 level looks pretty good. We've got also this, you see this bearish candle before price broke away, so bullish candle before price broke to the downside. So this is an area that around the 79 level that looks pretty good in terms of a place to look for a pattern. Just move to the 4-hour chart here. I'm going to compress this same area and see if you can just fine tune that level. So there's the Fibonacci swing from the very high down to the very low, and you can see this area here again. Have a look at the bodies there. Okay, big release down, comes back. See this area right here, bodies again, 79 levels. So that's a pretty decent area to look for a possible pattern. Okay, here again you can set your alert on either the platform or via an SMS alert or an email alert, so that you know kind of where price is in relation to these key areas if you can't be in front of the screen all day long. Let's just have a look at the 5-minute chart. So you can see this is what the 5-minute chart looks like, and that's the key area right there, that 79 level from the daily or 4-hour chart with the that horizontal support resistance level. So we're looking for a possible pattern so that we can look to sell short around that area. Okay, remember, not going to just click sell as price gets to the level, because we don't know if price is going to stop. You can see this drop. Let's just zoom this up and have a look at this. See this drop and price has rallied. So if we take our Fib tool, we draw it from this high down to this low. See how price has dropped, it's rallied up to the 79% retracement, and then it's started to fall again. Okay, now at this current moment we're not at a key level of resistance. Okay, so if the pattern set up like here, for example, or you got some other kind of pattern setting up here, it's not a high probability pattern because we're not at the key area of resistance just yet. Now you can see if we take our next tool, we draw from the low up to the high. Okay, you want to start looking for the possibility of price moving higher. You see how we have the 127 with the 1618 extension lining up right at that key area of resistance. Okay, so that key resistance area we could trade using this small bearish butterfly pattern. So that's the area right there. And just have a look here. So 5908 is sort of the area resistance. There's the 127. So that's where I want to look at placing a limit order. The stop loss, okay, you want just above the 1618 area. So you can see, it's like 9 pips. Okay, you want to add the spread on if you're selling with these small patterns. So let's just look at putting an order in. So we go to our platform, we go new pending order, sell limit. We want to put a sell limit at 1.5905 and put 1 pip below the 127 extension. Stop loss 159.15, and I want to add a 3 pip spread, so make a stop loss at 59.18. Okay, so pretty tight stop. And in terms of target there again, I'm going to leave that open. I want to see what happens when price or if it gets there, what happens after that. Okay, so we'll just step this forward, see how price retraces down to sort of that 50, just shy of the 62. Okay, so there's the big spike up. Okay, we've just been filled. You can see we're currently 8 pips down. And if we have a look at the hourly chart, okay, big bullish push up into that resistance area. Let's go to the 5-minute chart here. Okay, so you see how price rejects. Okay, so this is what you want to watch closely now. You've got this area of resistance here. Okay, that's the first sort of micro level that we want to see price close below. See, it holds a support here. Okay, so at this moment in time, stop loss, it's still far too early for me to start reducing risk on this trade. Remember, you're trading in that higher time frame, big key level, so you need to give it some space. See how price closes below, comes back, retests resistance now. Now we're starting to break down. You see the next area here. This is kind of the level here you want to watch closely. This is really micromanaging the trade. Okay. Here again, I like to give it a bit of breathing space. Okay. So now it's slowly starting to grind low. It's not really releasing heavily just yet. Okay, I want to start seeing it really stop moving away here before I consider any kind of risk removal on the trade. Let's have a look at that hourly chart. I want to try and leave the fibs. It's a little bit messy. The way I would normally, the way I would trade this is having different actual pound dollar charts open, so you could view the different time frames. You don't have to worry with the Fibonacci lines like this. Okay, so price is slowly starting to break away here. Currently 14 pips up, so it's, here again, everyone's going to do a little bit differently. I'm a little bit cautious about moving the stop too early, although it's a pretty small stop, so you understand you've got to accept the risk on the trade. If you want to micromanage these things, you can do that. I personally just like to give it a bit of breathing space. So that's an area there we want to see broken. So you can see, look at the time of the day here. Also, start during the Asian session where it's very quiet and choppy. So you likely maybe see a run up, maybe into that area again before price releases. Okay, so now price is starting to break down. You see how it's starting to break down here. I want to go to that hourly time frame and just have a look to see what we've got in terms of possible levels. Now we're currently 22 pips up, and let's just try and get rid of these fibs on here quickly so that we can see what's going on here a bit clearer. Okay, so I just removed the Fibonacci level so we can see that hourly chart. I want to look for a possible target. You see how we've come down. There's the sell. Okay, that was at our key area. There's the 79 level. You see the rejection here. That's a good sign. Rejection. Look at the wick here. Good sign. You see this area down here on the 4-hour chart. That looks pretty interesting. Okay, we've got this area in here. See on the left hand side, we've had an area of support, resistance. Comes back, support, resistance, resistance, support. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. We've also, remember, we had that fine-tuning section. This area, this base, you see this bearish candle here. That's definitely an area I would pay close attention. You could even look for possible buying opportunities around that area. Okay, and let's just have a look at what that area looks like on the hourly chart. So you see this area, that's the 4-hour level. And then you've got this base here. So I think in terms of targets, I will watch this 58.57 very closely, and then a target of 58.43. So I'm going to modify this, and I'm going to take a target 58.43 plus the spread, so 46. Okay, 58.46. Modify that. So you can see in terms of risk reward, we've got a very nice risk reward on the trade here. So we're risking 13 for a target around 59.60 pips. Okay, so if we just follow price along here again, you can also watch this level here. You see this base, this last bearish candle here before price break to the upside. Price needs to get through that, and that's also, like I said, that's a place you could look to take some profits. The likely place to see some buying pressure is at 30 pips. Okay, so your risk reward on that trade is also you're getting over 2 to 1 on the trade, which is pretty good. We just follow this along, see what happens. So price comes down. You see here we have that level, and you've got this area. Got this area in here. Okay, watch that area also very closely. See how price comes into that area there and starts to bounce. Still looking deeper. Okay. Starting to rally off that area. Okay, so that's why I said you could definitely look to take profits around that area. Okay, so there's a spike down. Orders being filled. Take profits out. You see our price, it rallied off that level, came right back up. You see this area here, last bullish candle. It's come back, retested that. We have some flows come back in the market, spike down. You see that area there? Bang. Reference that candle, or this candle here. If you're very, very aggressive, you could look at this bearish candle here. But you see this base, good solid base here. And let's just follow this along and see. See the spike down, comes down into that next little candle right there. Okay, so that's what I say, good place to take profits, and you could also look for buying opportunities. And let's just have a look at the account history there. You can see it made 59 pips for initial risk of 13 pips.